Hey everybody, T-Man again, bringing you guys another video, and I am back again, this time doing my WrestleMania previews and prediction video. We're here guys, we're here. This is Friday now as I'm shooting this video, and we are now 2 days away from the culmination of what has been the worst build-up to a WrestleMania since probably 11 with Bam Bam Bigelow and Lawrence Taylor. But anyways, here we are, guys. Very excited. Back for the first time in a long time doing my videos at the normal time my kids are napping at the normal place. The only difference is the view. I've moved my table around, so instead of just seeing the front door of my place, it's a little visually better. You get to see the background of my action figures and some of my graphic novels and Walking Dead figures. A couple of them fall down. Those fucking Walking Dead figures, those of you who have them, they are so fucking hard to stand up, man. Those some bitches keep falling down. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about my action figures or standing up or nothing that. We're talking about WrestleMania 31, guys, without the 31. We just had the stupid little play button symbol instead, guys. Another symbol of WWE and their bad writing. But I'll tell you one cool thing about it, though, on this lead up to WrestleMania, is WWE has been having a lot of programming on the WWE Network leading up to WrestleMania 31. So that has been cool. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's start from the very top. I'm going to be breaking down each match of WrestleMania 31 like I do on all my pay-per-views. I break down the list of matches, and I'm going to start from the very top. Let's go right from the beginning. We're right here from the top. Let's break down Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. What do I think is going to happen? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I think it was pretty much cut and dry of the plan from since last year at WrestleMania going into this year was pretty much to build up Brock Lesnar as this unbeatable guy, build up Roman Reigns as this up-and-coming beast, and then have the two on a collision course to WrestleMania. That has been announced as the plan since maybe a couple months after last year WrestleMania 30, and even though I've said in many videos, after Roman Reigns lost his momentum, got hurt at WrestleMania, at Royal Rumble, Vince proving that he's sticking to his guns and he won't change, and change an audible. He's sticking to his plans. He's not going to change the plans 2 years in a row. This is what he wants, and here we are. And I think things have got interesting because everyone thought that Brock Lesnar wasn't going to resign with the WWE and was going to go to the UFC, and he made that quite clear on a recent interview with ESPN, and I did a video on that if you guys want to see that Brock Lesnar is in fact done with the UFC, done with MMA altogether, and he is and he signed actually not just a 1-year contract, a multi-year contract with the WWE, and I think this gives WWE an opportunity. Please, okay, you did not give us the curveball at the Royal Rumble. We all knew Roman Reigns was going to win. You guys didn't give us the curveball, and I'm not going to go on and on like that, like I've been doing with the Roman Reigns. But here's a chance for you to give us a curveball. God, how badass would it be if Roman Reigns wins, huh? I mean, how badass would it be if if Brock Lesnar, if Brock Lesnar retains the title in this thing, and just give everyone a curveball. Everyone's expecting Roman Reigns to win. Have Brock Lesnar win. I mean, I think that's going to be incredible. What that would do. I mean, this match has a lot of opportunities to go certain ways. They could go the WWE generic route, which I have a feeling they'll do with just Roman Reigns beating Brock Lesnar and conquering, because that's kind of the story on TV it seems like they're telling, with the stupid, can Roman Reigns do it? Can he do it? Can he beat the Beast? We all known for a year they're insulting the fans' intelligence by stating otherwise. I have a feeling that's the route they're going to go, but they have many different routes they can go. So they could have Roman Reigns win clean, They could have Brock Lesnar proving not a dominant win like he always does, but really putting Roman Reigns over by having Roman beat the hell out of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar showing adversity almost like he did at the Royal Rumble in that triple threat match, and somehow miraculously beating Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar retaining the title, and you know he's going to go on a hiatus after. You can make it where he successfully retains the title, and at the same time putting Roman Reigns over by giving him a really good performance at this WrestleMania, and maybe even dominating Brock Lesnar, but still Brock Lesnar winning the match. You could have, I don't think WWE is going to do this, by the way. I don't think they have the balls. Then having Seth Rollins come out, costing Brock Lesnar, cashing in the Money in the Bank, let's say, cashing it in, pinning Brock Lesnar, and Seth Rollins walking out as the WWE champion. That's the route I would go if I was writing. Shock, you're giving the fans two major shocks. The shock that everyone's really thinking that Roman Reigns is going to win, especially all the diehard fans. Giving the curveball, having Brock win since he signed the contract, and then having Seth Rollins come out cashing in the Money in the Bank. A second shocker, having him win, and then not to mention that sets up a lot of interesting stuff going further. That sets up Roman Reigns barely coming this close away, still chasing the title. I mean, he's so young enough, he doesn't need to win his first title at WrestleMania like a lot of people do. I mean, The Rock didn't win his first title at Mania. I mean, there's a lot of guys that haven't won their first title at Mania. He doesn't need that. Roman is a young enough guy where he's gonna and I really think he will be that guy WWE wants him to be. You just have to take your time on it, and that gives Roman. Meanwhile, while Brock Lesnar's on this hiatus, that will give the chance for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to build a rivalry. Roman chasing the title, maybe up until SummerSlam, and then you can have Roman win it in a triple threat at SummerSlam, or having Brock Lesnar come back and challenging Roman Reigns for the title, that meaning Roman Reigns beat Seth Rollins right before SummerSlam. It leaves a lot of different options for WWE to go, and keeping all three men whole in that scenario. And of course you could have Roman Reigns win the title, SummerSlam up above, but I have a feeling my final prediction is I think WWE is going to go the WWE route. And when I mean WWE route, I mean the obvious predictable route. And that is, I think they're just going to give Roman Reigns the title straight up. Maybe Seth Rollins might cash in the Money in the Bank. I think that would be awesome if he even did that on Roman. But I think the story they've been telling with can Roman do it, I think we're going to see Roman win clean up. And I also think it depends on the fans too. I think WWE's hoping that Roman gets a good ovation. If people are booing him like crazy after Roman Reigns wins the title, almost like they did at Royal Rumble, which I don't think they'll do, but if that does happen, I do see Seth Rollins coming out that way too. I think it also depends on the fans. But final prediction, I think we're going to have the predictable route. I think WWE's going to go the predictable route. I don't think Vince has the balls to do shit anymore. So I think he's going to stick to his guns, and he's going to stick to the story that he started telling at the beginning of WrestleMania 30 with the Brock win and all that, and building Roman and all that by having Roman Reigns beat the guy that had a dominant year in the WWE. Which I think is a mistake. They're paying Brock all this money. So that's what I think. Like I said, I would go the route of having Brock win. Maybe not even having Seth Rollins come up, but either way, having Brock win over Roman. Keep the rivalry going. You could sell another match between Roman and Brock. Maybe even this time, after Roman put a good performance in, a better storyline going forward. Okay, going on the next one. Let's talk about Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker. I'm not going to get into the same things I've been on a lot of my videos of why this match doesn't make sense. It's happened. It's good. Well, like I said, I think this match was going to be a great idea if the streak was still intact. Not going to get into it, but still, it's still cool. I mean, no matter how you break it down, this is a really, really, really cool match and a cool rivalry, even though the streak is broken. it's cool because you are getting to see a once-in-a-lifetime match with The Undertaker taking on the new face of fear, Bray Wyatt, which I'm a huge fan of, and he is the new face of fear. He is the guy who's taking over for you as your new dark storyline. So in that aspect, it's very cool to see the two dark figures now wrestling, the past and the future of the darkness in the WWE meeting together in the biggest stage of them all. So in that aspect, that is very, very cool. I think it would be so beautiful and poetic if the streak was intact. Bray Wyatt defeating The Undertaker, ending the streak. Now that the streak is intact, now that the streak is not intact, you kind of have to make Undertaker win. And I think that's the story they're telling. First of all, we haven't seen The Undertaker since WrestleMania 30, and I think that's also part of the story that they're telling. But I think the story that they're telling here, and they're going to tell at WrestleMania 31, is that The Undertaker's defeated, and I think the story is going to be about how The Undertaker handled his first loss at WrestleMania, and coming back as the true phenom that he is, and solidifying himself as the one true darkness of the WWE. And even though he's from the past and all that, he will always be the WWE's #1 darkness in the WWE. And I think that's the story the WWE is going to tell. And I think we are going to see The Undertaker win. I'll be very surprised if Bray Wyatt wins. I don't think the WWE will have the balls to do it. But I could understand the story they would tell if Bray Wyatt does win for a second time. It would pretty much solidify the end of the career of WWE. The end of The Undertaker if Bray Wyatt wins. And I don't think that would make sense. I think they still want to see if The Undertaker... I still think they want to tease that possibility next year in Dallas, Texas, having Undertaker and Sting. I still think they want to try to see if Undertaker could retire, have a retirement match, maybe even put him in the Hall of Fame next year at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas, big Undertaker's home state, having him face the fantasy match everyone wants to do with Sting. But in order to do that, Undertaker, I think, needs to win that match. I don't think an Undertaker-Sting match would be quite as significant if Undertaker loses 2 WrestleManias in a row and if Sting goes over against Triple H. I don't think that'll be a good telling. I think the story we're going to see, and I think my prediction is The Undertaker winning the match, making a comeback, and I think that's the story they're going to tell, is how he handles the defeat of WrestleMania 30, and even though he lost, solidifying himself as still the #1 dark figure in the WWE. How does that handle Bray Wyatt? I do think that hurts Bray Wyatt a little bit, even though he's been not main eventing, but kind of headlining WrestleMania in big key matches last year with John Cena, arguably the #1 guy in the company, and then the #1 guy in WrestleMania history being The Undertaker. Those are key spots for Bray Wyatt, but I feel like that hurts him if he keeps losing at WrestleMania. This is his second key WrestleMania match. And if you keep having him lose these big matches, eventually when he gets into the main event picture with title matches at WrestleMania, which I think he will be there soon. I think within the next 2-3 years, if not next year, within the next 3 years, we will be seeing Bray Wyatt in a WrestleMania main event for a world title, if not a world champion. Bray Wyatt is a future world champion. I think he is. I think he is there. He's there now, especially with his promos, and even for his in-ring work for a bigger guy. Bray Wyatt, man, he is probably one of my favorite guys in the modern WWE era. And I might even do a video talking about who a lot of you guys probably know who some of my favorites of today's wrestlers are. But Bray Wyatt is definitely up there. And yeah, WWE just has to be careful. I mean, next year, if let's just say you're going to have Bray Wyatt, hypothetically, I don't think it'll happen, but let's say hypothetically Bray Wyatt wins the Royal Rumble. And he's going on to headline WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. Just saying. Not saying it's going to happen. Not saying it should happen. Just laying an example. Now you're like, okay, Bray Wyatt's lost 2 WrestleManias in a row, or let's say even if the tables was reversed and Bray Wyatt was Which, oh shit, I got a text message. Let's say if Bray Wyatt was the champion, I found a recipe for pepperoni chicken. Pizza chicken. What? My wife sending me a text. Whatever. Anyways, if the tables were reversed, Bray Wyatt was the champion, what would make you think he would successfully defend his title at WrestleMania, considering he lost 2 years in a row? I don't know. For a new guy like that, headlining these major matches, I think he needs to win one. Anyways, Undertaker is my pick, and I think that's the right choice. I think it would be wrong to have Undertaker lose 2 matches in a row. Moving on from that, we have Sting and Triple H, the other big marquee match in this pay-per-view. Sting. Pretty much that's all I can say, is I think Sting is going to win that match. Yeah, I mean, I would be pretty shocked if Triple H wins that match. I'll be pretty shocked if Sting loses his very first match in the WWE, very first WrestleMania. I would be pretty shocked. I mean, these days, Triple H has done it all. He doesn't need to win these WrestleMania matches. He's only in these WrestleMania matches because he wants to compete at WrestleMania, and that he's Vince's son-in-law. I mean, really, a lot of times, I don't think Triple H needs to wrestle at every single WrestleMania. I mean, if it calls for it, sure. I don't think he... they come up with storylines every single year specifically designed for Triple H to be in WrestleMania. He's retired. He doesn't need to be in this many WrestleManias, guys. And not to mention, they're talking about how many matches Triple H lost in a row. I think they said he's lost 4 WrestleManias in a row or something like that. Doesn't matter with Triple H. He doesn't care about what matches he loses. This guy's been in so many WrestleManias. He doesn't care if he goes over or not. He just wants to be a part of the show. And the rumor is on this match, these two are going to have the best entrances of the night. And I would probably agree with that. I heard that Triple H is going to have like a Terminator theme entrance, and Sting is going to have an entrance revolving a lot of scarecrows. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm excited to see what that's going to be like. God, fuck, damn. Every time I do these videos, I always get heartburn when I do these videos. Fuck. Anyways, moving on from there. So that was a real quick one. I don't really have a lot to say about it. But I will be breaking down it. Obviously, I'll be breaking down the WrestleMania pay-per-view on Monday before Raw, and definitely I'm gonna go in depth on Monday Night Raw, because usually Monday Night Raw is really good after WrestleMania, and we're setting up for the future. If you remember last year's Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, it was really fucking good. Anyways, let's move on from that. Randy Orton, Seth Rollins. I think this depends. I think if the plan is for Seth Rollins to cash in the Money in the Bank later that night, I think we're going to see Randy Orton win. I think we're going to see Randy Orton win because Seth Rollins doesn't need to win, because he's going to be the champion at the end of the night if he cashes it in. If he doesn't cash it in, I think Seth Rollins is going to win. That's my prediction. I think Seth Rollins will cash it in. If Seth Rollins does not cash it in, he'll win. If he does cash it in, Randy Orton will win. That's what I think. Moving on from there, let's talk about the United States title. Let's talk about Rusev and John Cena. For the first part of the build-up, the WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw, I believe the Cena-Rusev build-up was probably the best build-up leading into WrestleMania. Not the last couple weeks, because their storyline writing team is so bad, they can't keep it consistent. So the last couple weeks were kind of retarded, with the fakes translator and all this other shit. It was kind of ridiculous. But I definitely think this match was definitely had the best lead up, with John Cena questioning himself and whether or not he still has it, because he's been along for a long time. And I love the build up that the United States title is getting. The United States title is great, and I know they said that they're building back up the Intercontinental in the United States. The Intercontinental title, oh god, I'll talk about that in a minute. But the United States title, they've been doing a job on that. And I think it would be awesome. I would love to see Rusev win, because god damn, that solidifies Rusev as a badass. That solidifies beating John Cena 2 times in a row, and not only just beating him, but beating him at WrestleMania, keeping that undefeated streak. And oh my God, talk about putting somebody, or whoever does eventually beat Rusev, talk about putting them over. John Cena does not need the rub. He does not need the rub, being the first one to beat Rusev. Even though I'm not opposed to it either. I think it's good storytelling if John Cena wins, and not to mention it's really putting over your United States title by having such an icon in today's wrestling that's been around in 10 years, a guy like John Cena being your United States title. That's really putting the United States title really up there now. And finally, I'm really happy to see the United States title really up in that prestige now. Really happy to see that. Really happy to see a main event guy going for the United States title, making those titles mean something again. I've been talking about that for since I started this channel in November. I've been talking about that. So really happy to see that finally happening. So anyways, yeah, I think John Cena is probably going to win that match. I would like to see Rusev win, and I think whoever beats Rusev later down the road, I think that would really put their name on the map. The guy that finally beat Rusev. And I think that would be a double whammy. It's not just you winning the United States title, whoever beats him, you're finally ending the streak of Rusev. So I think that would be pretty cool. And I love how they're handling the Rusev undefeated streak. He's lost DQs, countouts, stuff like that. But I like how they're promoting it, like not an undefeated streak, just he has not been pinned or submitted. I love how they did that. And he's been around for a year now. He debuted, I think, night after Mania. I think I know he was in the Royal Rumble before 30, but I'm pretty sure he debuted as a mainstay the night after WrestleMania 30 of last year. Moving on from there, Intercontinental title match. Oh God damn it! The hot potato. Like I said, those of you who've watched my videos know that I think this 7-man Intercontinental title match is a complete mistake. I think it's a mistake. I think I would have had 2 guys going at it one-on-one. But they don't want those guys to steal the show. I mean, if they really wanted to still show them performance and really make every diehard wrestling fan happy and really put a still showing performance at WrestleMania, they would have had it one-on-one match, Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. That would have made all the Daniel Bryan fans happy, all the Dolph Ziggler fans happy, because they're a fan of those two, and they would steal the show. I heard they had a great match at SmackDown a week back. Did not see that. They had a really good match at Raw. I saw that one, but they said the SmackDown one kind of like stole the not stole the show. That's easy to do on SmackDown, but it was kind of like a match of the year candidate. It was really good, and that doesn't surprise me. I think they would have really had one of the all-time WrestleMania greatest matches, but they don't want that. They don't want people to talk about those that match. They want people to talk about the other matches. I mean, they could have easily had 2 really good WrestleMania matches by having the Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, either for the title or not for the title. I would have had that for the Intercontinental title. God, that would have been great. Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title. Or if you didn't want that title match, you could have still had Dean Ambrose, Bad News Barrett, and they could have put on a big show too. They're both good in-ring competitors as well, and could have had 2 possible still showing performances. They don't want that. They put this, and it's still going to be a good match, guys. I mean, it's going to be a great match. Those guys all want to steal the show. They all want to. But when you get that many guys in a ladder match, it becomes a demolition derby. It becomes all about the bumps and not about a great artistic wrestling match. It becomes all about the bumps and all this other thing. So I'm really curious how that's going to come apart. But you have so many great talent in that ladder match. I know it's going to be good. I hope it's not a demolition derby. Now, who do I think is going to go over in that match? Daniel Bryan has to. First of all, you're demoting them so much by putting them in a demolition derby match like that. Daniel Bryan needs to win this match. He needs to. There's no ands, buts about it. They would. You're talking about the guy that you bank on selling tickets. They use him. to sell tickets. I said because on the house show, he headlines all the house shows. I mean, they have 2 house shows a night. John Cena and some other guys headline that one as the A show, and then on the B show, Daniel Bryan headlines that one. Even with Roman Reigns does it on the intermission, and then Daniel Bryan sends everyone home happy with the yes. And that's what they do. So, Daniel Bryan, if Daniel Bryan was not in the match, I would have Wade Barrett win. Bad News Barrett. You're like, what? Over to Ziggler? I love Ziggler, but I think that would be pretty good storytelling because Bad News Barrett has lost at, like, he pretty much hasn't won a match since he became Intercontinental Champion. I think he won, like, 1 match for, like, the actual Intercontinental title. I think it was against R-Truth or something. But, wow, I think that'll be some pretty good storytelling, I think. I really do. But that's not going to happen. Not with Daniel Bryan in there. So my official pick is, and I think he needs to, I think Daniel Bryan will win the match. Moving on from there. Oh my god. Let's go to the Divas Tag Team match real fast. I think the Bellas are, no, not the Bellas. I think Paige and AJ Lee will win the match. That's what I think there. That's my official prediction. I think, instead of having, I mean, we just saw a Divas tag match recently with Natalya and Paige against the Bellas. At Mania, did we really need to see a tag match? Like, I agree that the Bellas and Paige and AJ are probably the top 4 divas in this calendar year, even though AJ was off for the majority of the year. I would have had it a fatal 4-way, even with the Bellas. And that would have put some animosity there. And then you're pretty much having the 4 top divas that kind of dominated the year, storyline-wise, pretty much. The 4 Bellas. I mean, the 4 Bellas. The 2 Bellas and AJ and Paige. Go at it for the women's title at WrestleMania. I think that would have been cool. But we're seeing the tag match, and since the title's not on the line, I think we're going to see Paige and AJ Lee win the match. But I'm always wrong with the Divas. Who knows? Wouldn't be surprised if the Divas win too. I'm always wrong on the Diva predictions. Because maybe because my heart's not really in the Diva picks. Anyways, moving on from there, I'm going to just do one more. And this is stupid, but I guess the time of the 4-hour product is real long, so they're not doing the Andre Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. They're doing it on the WrestleMania pre-show. The WrestleMania, oh my god, Jesus. WrestleMania is like 6 hours. Okay, you got the 4 hours main show, and then you got 2 matches on the pre-show, and that starts on the West Coast. On the West Coast, it starts at 2 p.m. because the pay-per-view on the West Coast starts at 4. So on the West Coast, the pre-show starts at 2, so that means WrestleMania starts at 2 because you're getting 2 title matches, you're getting the tag team title matches, which I'm not going to review because I don't care. If you want a quick one, I think the champions retain the title, being Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. But as far as the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, God, they put that on the main pay-per-view last year. I thought that was good. They've always had a Battle Royal every year for WrestleMania. I thought this is their way of building it back up. But what do we have now? Back on the undercard. Who do I think is going to win? I thought what they were going to do, and I thought a cool thing to see at WrestleMania. I mentioned it before in one of my previous videos, how Hulk Hogan talked about coming back. I thought it would be cool. I don't think it'll happen now that it's on the pre-show. I'll be surprised if it happened on the pre-show, but if it happened on the main card, I thought it would be cool to have Hulk Hogan win. You know, I don't think he could do a one-on-one match, even though he's been talking about coming back. I don't think he could do that. But I think he can more than do just some working punches, throwing people over, and winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, paying tribute and homage to the guy that those two were linked in their careers. Hogan and Andre meant a lot to each other. I thought that would have been pretty cool. Nope. A lot of just jobbers and people that they forgot about in there. I think we're finally going to see the conclusion of one of the longest drawing storylines that's just... It started off really cool, and now it's like, will it end already? And I'm talking about Miz Mizdow. I think Damien Sandow breaks free from the Miz. We see the conclusion of that storyline by having Damien Damien Mizdow win the match, going over, beating The Miz, and we'll see those two next month at Extreme Rules in a match, and Damien Sandow winning that match. Other contenders that might win that match, Ryback might be one, even though they kind of buried him, which I knew they would. They built him up for a long time, and that's what I've always said in all my videos. It's the flavor of the month. For a long time, they were building Ryback up again, and they did just like they did a year ago when they built him back up. Oh, next guy, let's build him up for about 3 months, take him down, build another guy up for 3 months, and then they just forget about him. They don't have the talent to keep building guys and building more than one person at a time. They have a flavor of the month that they just throw in there. So Ryback is past his flavor of the month. I think Damien Sandow is the choice. There's a couple other guys, long shots. I mean, Ryback, Big Show, and Kane's kind of teasing the 20th rivalry between those two in the past 15 years. Yeah, I mean, there's different guys that could have been that one. I'm a big fan of Axelmania, Curtis Axel. Love that storyline with the Axelmania. Love Curtis Axel. That would be awesome if he won the match, because he still hasn't been eliminated from the Royal Rumble. He's going with that gimmick. I love that they're going with that gimmick. So, that's pretty much it. That concludes all of the WrestleMania matches. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. I usually write down everything, but I didn't. But I think I covered everything. So that's what I think of this year's WrestleMania. Let's see if I'm right in the previews or predictions, and let's just hope that I think this WrestleMania will be entertaining. A lot of people are saying that this is going to be the worst WrestleMania ever. No, I don't think it's going to be the worst WrestleMania ever. I think, no doubt about it, people are saying that because the lead-up has been one of the most horrendous lead-ups to WrestleMania, because the writing on the Monday Night Raw is so bad. It's so long. Raw is so horrendous. But the matches are not horrible, and they're going to put on a good show for WrestleMania. They are, even though that you've been seeing bad television on Raw, this culmination to these bad storylines should be good. I'm expecting them to be good. I'm sure we're going to have a couple what the fuck moments at WrestleMania saying like, why the fuck did they do that? But all in all, I think it's going to be decent. I just hope, my biggest hope is, I'm hope that we put the mark on the bad television, and I hope from this point on we move on to a good position. I'm hoping Monday Night Raws from this point on are very, very good. So anyways, guys, this will conclude my WrestleMania previews and prediction video. Hopefully you guys please like, subscribe to the video, leave your comments. Appreciate the comments that you guys make, good or bad. I do appreciate the feedback. Also, I will be shooting out some more videos as promised. We'll be shooting out a house show video that I went to. I've been talking about that in my last couple of videos. We'll be doing that. I might actually pump that one out at my work site. I'll be working graveyard tonight and tomorrow night, so I'm probably going to pump that out when I'm at work in the morning when the sun comes out from my car. I did a video like that before. So yeah, a lot more videos coming forward, but this is probably the one video I'll be doing, and then I'll be doing some more after Mania, starting off with the WrestleMania review video, house show video, Raw video. Gonna go back to the Lucha, gonna go back to the TNA, so I do have a lot of planned videos planned. Like I said, this week it has been my return from my hiatus. I'm back. I'm starting to pump them out. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. Until the next video, I'll see you fuckers later. Enjoy WrestleMania, guys.